Earlier this month here in Beijing, the Honor of Kings KPL Grand Final took place at the National Stadium, better known as the Bird's Nest, and it drew a crowd of 62,196 fans to break the record for a single esports event. Prince Faisal bin Bandar bin Sultan Al Saud, the chairman of the Saudi Esports Federation and president of the International Esports Federation, was one of the many excited fans enjoying the thrilling final, and he spoke to me about the rapid growth of China's esports industry and how esports is becoming a cultural force that brings people together. Your Royal Highness, always a pleasure to talk to you and to welcome you here to the Bird's Nest, the National Stadium, one of the most iconic and famous stadiums in the world, built for the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics, hosted the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, countless world records, on, and today, another historic moment in esports as it hosts the King Pro League Grand Finals. Now, this has broken numerous records, but for you as the president of the International Esports Federation, also a devoted Honor of Kings player yourself, what are your thoughts on this milestone for esports, and what does it mean for the growth?
I mean, it is something amazing to see. First of all, it's a pleasure being here. It always is a pleasure coming back and talking to you. My only complaint would be it's maybe a little cold, but it's better to be cold than not, than too hot. But, if you look at this event in its entirety, it's 60,000 fans in an arena to watch an esports match. Sold out tickets in 12 seconds, which is, it's insane. But the opening ceremony, the screens were impressive enough as they were, and then the way they moved around and really brought you in to what was happening, and the way they engaged you with each individual player before they brought them together as a team. And it was each player with their character that they play in the game. And it really was, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, it really was reminiscent of the way they bring out players for traditional football matches. NFL, football, there was such a focus on the player and giving them their space and their gravitas. That is amazing to see. And I look forward to more people emulating what they've done here. Because one of the most impressive things they've done at the KPL especially is telling the story of the players. These fans that are in the arena are not just engaged in the game, they're engaged with each individual player, with each individual character. And you can see in the character selection, when they select a character, the crowd goes wild because they know what his likes are, what his dislikes are, what the other team does. And they've only been able to do that because they've told such an amazing story and brought people into the lives of these young men. And I'm very excited. We were talking a little earlier. They've also launched something with women called the Honor of Queens, which I'm also looking forward to seeing a little bit more growth in there. And I'm interested to do more with that in Saudi as well.
On my way here, I took the subway, busy Saturday night, seemed faster than a taxi. You talked about the demographics of the fans as well. And on the train, I was next to two families who are clearly coming here. They're talking about it with young children and also a host of other, from teenagers to people perhaps my vintage, on the train coming here to see this as well. How do you view just the popularity and the rapid growth of esports in China from the fan perspective?
It's amazing to see. And again, you say it's young and old, it's male and female. I would say, I'd venture to say even this is overwhelmingly female fans in the audience. But again, it's because of the story they've been able to tell that they've been able to bring so many people into this. And that growth is only going to keep going. Because in esports, there is such a great story to tell. But how can we take that storytelling capability and bring that to other esports, to bring it up to the level that the KPL is on right now on a global scale? Because this is such a major event. This is massive. But that's with the knowledge that there is so much more room to grow, which is a scary and exciting thing.
On that note, this is such a massive event. The KPL Grand Finals have evolved, have transcended the sport. It's brought together communities, culture, shared passion. Is this the ideal development of esports in your eyes?
Absolutely. I mean, what they've done here, what we're doing together at the Esports World Cup, the efforts we're putting in, which we're hoping to announce a lot more details soon about the Esports Nations Cup, where we're now taking that club pride and that individual pride to a national level. There's so much more to do and so much growth to be had. And it's the time for it, because you have now two things coming together. Younger populations in the world and more young people coming into this world that know esports as a sport. Didn't have to learn what it was. I mean, I've always been a gamer since I was a young boy, but I didn't know what esports was until I was far too old to participate. I'm not going to tell you how old, but you couple that with, I was saying earlier, advancements in technology and AI and understanding of mental health and physical health and work-life balance. And that all culminates in an opportunity where you have more people who are gamers in the world and more people who are gamers are coming into the world at a time when people are understanding that you have to have more free time. And a lot of that free time is now going to be spent playing games, playing esports. I mean, I play with my son. We play quite often to my wife's great discontent. I play with, I go to my friend's house, I play with their kids. I played with my father games growing up. We used to play on the Nintendo, Pilot Wings, among many other things, F-Zero, which I'm sure no one here will know. But this is a time when people are understanding that you have to have more time for yourself, that work-life balance. And when you have more of the population of the world being gamers, more of that time is going to be spent gaming. So it's an amazing time for esports to start to take its place in the limelight alongside these major sporting events like the World Cup, like the Olympics, and many other things.
Now, on the industry side of things, China, of course, is a major player in driving forward the esports industry. As the president of the IESF, can you assess China's current esports industry and just the role it plays in the global ecosystem?
I mean, it's a major player in the global ecosystem. It would be hard to find any tournament where you don't have either a Chinese player or a Korean player. And I mean, you are setting the gold standard across the board. There was, I think, if memory serves me correctly, at the EWC, we had 25 games. 5 of the games had Chinese participants that qualified. And we had more Chinese participants than any participant from any other country. I mean, it is a powerhouse now. It is growing. It is a powerhouse in development. It is a powerhouse in production. The talent here is undeniable. And the more that grows, the more it becomes the mainstream, the more you will see that growth. And this is an industry that is amazing in that growth anywhere is good for everyone.
This year marks the 35th anniversary of China-Saudi diplomatic relations. At the second edition of the Esports World Cup this summer, tremendously successful. You had over 3 million visitors during the event, 2,500 players, 89 different nationalities represented competing. How do you see esports just as a bridge between cultures, bringing people together? What does it do towards this end as opposed to other forms of cultural exchange?
That changes the way a city can run. It changes the way a city can view itself. I mean, you look at bringing in 60,000 people to an event here. I mean, I was here at the 2008 Olympics. I was here at the opening ceremony, and it was insane. And you get that similar feeling with the crowds that are in there now. In Saudi, it wasn't just about the city, but as you said, bringing in 2,500 athletes from 80 plus countries, it might have been even more than that, but also 750 million viewers online, individual viewers of our content, that got to see Saudi, got to see players enjoying Saudi, got to see what our young men and women in Saudi are doing. These athletes get a chance to see Saudi, the casters that get to come in, the team players, not just the players, but the professionals around them, the coaches, the referees, the production teams. This is thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are coming into Riyadh that may not have had an opportunity to come to Riyadh before that may not have thought about coming into Riyadh before that. And overwhelmingly, many of them had an opinion before they came that had a different opinion after they came. And this is the power of sports, and esports in particular, is to bring people around the world and showcase and allow them to see by their own eyes. I mean, I tell people when I talk about Saudi all the time, I will talk about the change that's happening in Saudi till I'm blue in the face. But don't take my word for it. Come and see for yourself. I mean, I talk about the things I see in China all the time, and I tell people, like, I will evangelize what's happening in China and what I've seen till I'm blue in the face, but don't believe me. Go and see for yourself, because what you see on the ground will inevitably be better than anything that I can say or anything that anyone can say to you. And that opportunity with esports, where it's not just about the people who are here on the ground, but when all those 750 million viewers that logged in, we show clips of what's happening in Saudi, we show shows that are walking around the city, that are talking to the average person. And then on the other side of the spectrum, the average Saudi that gets to see all these young men and women come in. I had one moment, there was Team Liquid was walking through the arena last year, and a fan jumped out of the stands and grabbed one of the players and said, "I've been watching you for 10 years, but I never thought I'd see you in person. Thank you so much. Can I have a picture?" And I'm like, this is how you bring people together. This is how you bring worlds together. And what we're doing now on a federation level, working with other federations around the world to bring more people together. This is such a unique way to do it. And this was the other point I was going to make, is gaming is the only platform where your first introduction to someone is through their skill, not their shape, color, gender, religion, history, country, language. You can get into a game on any server, and if you know how to play, you will get the respect that you deserve. And then people find out who you are, what's your background, and it's such an amazing thing that you get to showcase your skill and earn your respect without any of the prejudices that would otherwise be a part of any conversation. And it's very unique in that way. And this is why one of the things that I'm very proud of in Saudi, and one of the things I see for the future, is the growth of women in gaming and esports. In gaming, I think it's there. The global community is roughly 50-50. In Saudi, it's about 48-52, 48 women, 52% male. But in esports, there's still a lot of room to grow. And in my humble opinion, the only way esports is going to grow the way it should is by embracing women participating as professionals in esports, because that's the only room we have for massive growth in esports right now. And that starts with giving them a safe place to play and earn the experience that they need, and then giving them an avenue to start being on the stage next to some of these young men, because the talent is there, the abilities are there. It's the experience and the opportunity that they need. And once they get that, I promise you they will get there very quickly. And you'll start seeing tournaments like this where you have a men's team against the women's team, or a mixed team against the mixed team, which would be my ideal situation.
Well, Your Royal Highness, the future is certainly bright. As for the present, you're missing the KPL Grand Final, so we'll let you get back to that. Thank you so much for your time. Fantastic as always. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.